Okay, so now I am going to show you um, my EdPuzzle video. So I'm going to watch this as a student.
You may not realize it, but your brain actually processes this information in two very distinct ways. Like when you look at this photo, you instantly know she...
Before we move on, what do you think when you look at this photo?
She looks really angry, that's for sure.
She has blonde hair, is visibly angry, and likely has some choice words to yell. Without any effort, you experienced fast thinking. But if you look at the following problem, something different happens. Sure, you immediately know it's a multiplication problem, and you knew you could solve it if you had the energy, but didn't. If you do try, your muscles will tense, your pupils will dilate, and your heart rate will increase. Now, you've experienced slow thinking. These two systems of fast and slow thinking dictate much of our perception and reaction in life. Take these lines for example.
Okay, so here we have a question, which line looks the longest? And I would say, okay, the middle line looks the longest. It says which line looks the shortest? And I say the first line looks the shortest. Okay, this is a nice free response question. And I can't even skip. It has locked it. So I have to submit and continue.
It's clear that they're different lengths, but if you measure them, they're actually the exact same length. Even now that you know, System 1, or your fast thinking, can't stop seeing the illusion because it acts automatically. A similar effect is seen here. Which figure is the largest?
Okay, so it's asking which figure is the largest. I'm going to say, oh, just from looking at this, it looks like this figure is definitely the largest. So I'm going to say, oh, the highest figure. And it says, why do you think our brain does that? I'm going to say, oh, because, well, I know they're all the same size, even though they all look like different sizes. And I know that our brain does that. It says it must be the difference between fast and slow thinking. Our brains just kind of come up with explanations without seriously thinking it through. Okay, I'm going to submit that, and I got that 100%.
Again, they're all the same size, but the suggestion of perspective and depth causes your System 1 to interpret the picture as three-dimensional, even though it's on a flat two-dimensional surface. It's making quick work of the available information, and so your conscious System 2, or slow thinking, must compensate after the fact and choose not to believe your intuition or instinct. Want to see your System 2 in action? I'll show you a string of 4 digits, you read them aloud, then add 1 to each of the original digits.
Okay, it says, are you ready to do math? That's kind of fun. I'm excited.
If the card reads 3795, the correct response would be 4806. We'll then go to the next card and you'll do the same, followed by the next card. Ready? Go.
Again, I cannot skip this video.
Few people can cope with more than 4 digits, but even harder is add 3. The interesting bit is that though your pupils would have dilated, you often become effectively blind when you fully engage System 2.
Okay, it says when you fully engage System 2, as we just learned about, you are more perceptive to your surroundings. And I know that that's false, but let's see what happens when I push true and submit it. Okay, I get 0 out of 100. Okay, and then it shows me that the correct answer is false.
Did you notice the color of the text change? Or how about the fact that the numbers completely changed when I put them off to the side? Listen to the following puzzle. A bat and a ball cost $1.10. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? Chances are your System 1 intuition was yelling 10 cents, but this appealing System 1 answer we know is wrong. In fact, the correct answer is 5 cents. Even if you worked out the correct answer, you likely thought of 10 cents along the way. System 1 is trying to work out an answer as quickly and seamlessly as possible, which is extremely beneficial in everyday life.
Okay, and the last question here is, how could knowing this help you in your everyday life? And I could just say, knowing the differences between these two types of thinking will help me know when I should go back and reevaluate certain fast-thinking situations in case I missed something. Submit it and it will be graded.
If every activity required full mental effort, it would be exhausting. But knowing this allows us to understand that not all of our first impressions are correct.
Alright, there you go. So I just finished this, and then I'm going to go back to look at these classes. And so here we see, this is the one I know it kind of is confusing, but this is the one that I just watched. It has its due date on April 28th. And if I look here, I can see progress. So then it'll show me, oh, look, I'm the teacher and I did it, and so far I've only gotten 20 out of 100. It shows me when I turned it in, and so I'm going to click it to get more information. So it shows me all of the things that I have watched, and it shows me that I have watched 100% of this video. I've gotten only one correct response. However, there's a lot more to be graded, so I hope students don't feel discouraged even though there's some that just have not been graded yet. And so I could say, oh, this looks right, and I can go in and I can start grading their answers. So I can come here, say, oh, that looks good. This one was wrong, and so I can add a comment saying it's actually the opposite. Okay, and then here I can make that 100% too. Or I can change it to like 50 out of 100 if I think it needs more meat to it. Okay, and so I can do this with each of the students who have completed it, and now it looks like, oh, they got an 80 out of 100, which is a lot better. Okay, so then I go back and it'll show again the new grade. Then I can export these grades, and I will receive a copy of these grades on an Excel sheet. And I know there's only one grade right now, but the Excel sheet will open the grade, and so it'll say the student, automatically have the student, percent of the video watched, and it'll open this entire Excel sheet for my class. Okay, so and that is my EdPuzzle.